Texas is 2-0 and headed to the West Coast. The Big 12 might just need to be blown up. And our panelists react to the NFL opening weekend. All this and much, much more coming your way on College Crossfire. I guess we'll get into it, guys. Always enthusiastic, unbelievable, hard-nosed.
Roll up the sleeves for this one.
This Dallas team was very overrated from the start, like they always are every year.
The talent there, Kevin Mack, Eric Davis, and Cronin Roach, are maybe three of the most talented guys on the team.
Oh, that's an ugly shirt.
Always a pleasure having you on, guys.
Time to freak out, Reese.
And welcome into the only live sports debate show, filmed right here on the 40 Acres. Reese Miller here with you. As always, pumped to have you guys with us. But we got some new panelists to meet here. Jonathon Polasek, the returning champion. Jonathan, I know it's you because you got your name tag on your fishing shirt. It looked like you just got off the boat, made it to the studio. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Got me some fish. And before I forget, how you doing, Reese?
Excellent. Doing great. My favorite thing about you. Mackenzie Palmer, first time to the show. How does it feel? How are the nerves going?
Feels good. My nerves are they're there, but it's calm.
That's good.
Feeling good.
That's good. I feel like a calm, cooling confidence over there.
Yes.
But the coolest guy in the studio and the station, of course, James Grachos. James, how you doing, man?
Absolutely terrible. You know how Mark always talks about how awesome he is. I'm doing awful, and I think it'll reflect in my answers later today.
Excellent. Well, that's a great that's a great positive way to get his skit going here. But shifting to something a little bit actually positive, for the first time since 2012, the Texas Longhorns are 2-0 and ranked for the first time under head coach Charlie Strong. Many are jumping on the bandwagon, gulping the burnt orange Kool-Aid, but Texas hits the road for the next month with Cal, Oklahoma State, and OU in Dallas. Longhorns went just 1-4 on the road last year. Guys, are they ready for this road test that could be some interesting moments here coming up beginning late this Saturday night in California? Jonathan, what do you think?
I believe that they are absolutely ready. This young team, they're growing up right before our eyes. And Texas, they had some struggles last year. I'll admit, they struggled mightily on the road. But you saw at the last road game of the season against Baylor how they came out. They were huge underdogs, even though Baylor was missing their quarterbacks. They still weren't favored. They came out, they played hard. And so I think that they've learned from last year's struggles, and that this year is going to be completely different. You've got a high-powered offense with the trigger man, Shane Buechele, who looks like he's the real deal. I mean, this offense is night and day compared to last year. And so I believe that Texas, they'll go on the road. They're going to beat Cal. They're going to beat Oklahoma State. And they're going to beat OU.
Boom! Gulping the burnt orange Kool-Aid, just inhaling it, chugging it, man. Nice. Mackenzie, what do you think about this upcoming little month road stretch for the Horns?
I'm definitely a little more hesitant. I believe that the Longhorns need to keep the momentum up and not get too excited. The defense definitely needs to stop the ball and needs to limit big plays, which have been hurting them in the last two games. Yeah. The offense needs to run the ball, especially this weekend against Cal, whose quarterback, Davis Webb, is #2 in passing in the nation. So the Longhorns have had a good tempo this far, but they definitely need to continue to keep up the pace in order to win.
That's a good point. Davis Webb throwing about 60, 70 passes a game. Cal put up almost 50 points on Texas last year in DKR. James, what do you think here about this upcoming road trip to Cal, then to OSU coming up?
You know, I'm not really worried about the first two games. Cal, their defense is a disaster.
Just atrocious.
And our offense is spectacular. Oklahoma State, they haven't exactly been doing well, to say the least, and after that national tragedy that we all witnessed. But I am a little bit worried about OU because I felt in our first game that our pass rush was a disaster, and we did very well against the run. And conversely, I don't think we did well against the run against UTEP. Of course, their running back is going to be playing on Sundays, I think. But our pass rush wasn't necessarily there. Now, we're going to be going up against a great running back and a great quarterback in OU, and I'm just not sure how we stack up. And the odds are that they're not going to come out with a W against State this weekend. And I really doubt that OU is going to have 3 losses by the time they're done with their 5th game this season.
Yeah. Well, you have to remember you can't generate much of a pass rush against a team that runs the ball 90 times a game. So you really can't judge that, the UTEP game. You can't judge the pass rush on the UTEP game. The Notre Dame game, that's they did pretty well.
And to be fair, the run defense outside of the 57-yard run, I believe in the second quarter, did pretty well against UTEP. Of course, it is UTEP, but again, gave up 200 yards plus rushing and passing against Notre Dame. So the defense has holes, obviously. But I do like what you said about this offense going to California. I think they should be able to run easily for 200-plus yards. You kidding me? San Diego State ran for about 300 yards. So I think that game will be just fine for Texas. I think the test is going to come a couple weeks after that, guys. Well, it's been 2 weeks of college football, and there are now only 3 teams left in the Big 12 that don't have a loss. Texas Tech put up 55 points and lost by 13. TCU lost in double OT this past weekend. OSU, as we mentioned, had that wacky ending loss against the Central Michigan at Chippewas. Guys, what's the deal with this conference, and could it potentially be left out of the college playoff for the second time in 3 years, or maybe hurt? One of the teams trying to get in there could be Texas. What do you think of the Big 12 right now, Mackenzie?
I think it's way too early to judge this right now. All of the teams that are we've seen play in the last 2 weeks still have a chance to go undefeated in the conference.
Sure.
I think it's, as much as I love my Longhorns, I feel like it's too early to put Longhorns in playoffs in the same sentence. We've been doing great the last 2 weeks, but we haven't forgotten the last few years where we've been. So.
Level-headed.
Yes.
Keeping it chill. I like that about you, Mackenzie. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I think the important question here is whether or not Texas would be affected if they were to have a, say, 11-1 or 12-0 season. I think that the BCS wants Texas on the big stage. I don't think, because it's them specifically and not Baylor and not TCU, I don't think anything will really be affected for the Longhorns. Now, of course, they could even out, and the Big 12 could end up being the conference that everyone expected, and the Longhorns could struggle, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, certainly interesting going forward. Jonathan, what do you think?
Well, let's be clear. If it's not Texas or OU, Big 12's not getting in the playoff. That's just the way it's going to be. Name brand means more than just about anything unless you go undefeated.
For sure.
And right now,
West Virginia and Baylor
West Virginia, no. Baylor, they're a train wreck. Texas, if they go undefeated, they're getting in. They have one loss. Sure. There could be a situation where something happens like OU, especially if it's early enough in the season, they can bounce back, they can come back and beat everybody else in the Big 12, and I think Texas would be able to make it with one loss. And if they go undefeated, they're in.
For sure. And again, very early. Let's pump the brakes here on the undefeated talk. Mackenzie, like what you said,
exactly.
Texas fans are excited about the 2-0 start, but haven't really forgotten about 2010 through last season at all. So Mackenzie's getting her first point. Congratulations to you guys. The first week of college football was stacked. Last week, the premier matchups weren't really there. May have been TCU and Arkansas, actually, but this week the slate looks great again. Tons of matchups featuring Louisville, Florida State, Bama, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Michigan, OU, and Ohio State, all ranked teams playing against each other, guys. Potential for greatness. But the question for you is, which team has the best chance to pull off a potential upset? Doesn't necessarily have to be from that slate of games I mentioned, but tons to choose from. Looking for upsets here. James, what do you think?
Yeah, the spread doesn't necessarily fit what I think to be the Michigan State versus Notre Dame game, and it's 7.5 toward Notre Dame, and I don't see that to be the case. I think that Michigan State's going to be able to grind down the Notre Dame defense the same way that Texas did. Wow. They got 3 good backs who can really move it, and if they rely on their quarterback for one down, maybe he can step up. He's done it before. They beat Ohio State last year. So I got Michigan State over Notre Dame.
Wow.
And, of course, on defense, they got a top player in the country in Malik McDowell.
Sparty. I like that. Sparty rolling. Jonathan.
I'm going to have to go between 2 teams competing, not in the Big 12, but for the Big 12.
Yeah.
Houston and Cincy. You have 2 teams, they're fighting for a spot in the Big 12. Houston, they're kind of banged up right now. I'm not sure. I'm sure Greg Ward Jr. is going to be back for the game, but you don't know. He has a shoulder injury. He's got some soreness going on. And Cincinnati is looking to prove themselves. They want to beat Houston to show the Big 12, hey, we can play with big boys too. Yeah. It's not just Houston. It's not just BYU. Cincinnati is looking to solidify their Big 12 bid, and Houston's looking to assert their dominance. And I think Cincinnati can really bring the pressure, especially if Greg Ward Jr. doesn't play, and they could potentially sneak out of there with an upset.
Wow, Cincy with a little Thursday night special upset right
That's
there.
right. They're
I like
they're
that.
2-0. They're 2-0
I
so
like
far.
that.
So.
Mackenzie, what do you think? Who's the upset pick here?
I'm choosing number 10 Louisville over number 2 Florida State.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, Louisville's quarterback, Lamar Jackson, he's been incredible the last 2 weeks. He has a really strong passing game. He's a contender for the Heisman. So
13 touchdowns. Yeah.
Exactly. And with the game being on their home field this weekend, I definitely feel like they're up for an they can pull up an upset this weekend.
I'll tell you, all three of those picks are great. Personally, I'm not all in on the Houston Cougs, so I'm going with Cincy. I think that would be the most monumental upset. I think there could be a little bit of a hangover, maybe looking ahead for Houston. Thursday night a little different. My personal one, I think USC might have a little something for Stanford. Little Saturday night game. We'll see. We'll see. So but I like that going forward. So Jonathan's got 2, you've got 1, and you plenty of time left to go, guys. Great first block coming up. We shift from college football to pro, and with October quickly approaching, our panelists will tell you who will be in the postseason. We'll be right back. Welcome back to College Crossfire. Time for a quick look at the scoreboard before we dive into the debate of rapid fire and light things up here, guys. James just swept the block. You got shut out in the first round, put up 3 in the second, so it's 2-1-3 going into rapid fire, guys. And let's go ahead and get to it this week. What a week it was for Alabama, leading Western Kentucky 38-10. Nick Saban was seen screaming at offensive coordinator Lane Kiffin when asked about it after he said it wasn't really an argument, but it was a butt chewing, in other words, guys. So the question is, what do you think the best butt chewers are in all of sports, or maybe who would you even fear most of getting your butt reamed by a coach?
I'm scared of Bill O'Brien. I mean, did you not see the way that he
Bill
destroyed
O'Brien's
Tom
scary.
Brady? I mean,
did.
and on Hard Knocks too. That is some really scary stuff there. I don't want to get on his bad side. I mean, he's a fiery person just as when he's normal.
Scary large human being.
He grows to like 10,000 times his size when he's even just the tiniest bit angry at you.
He's got that scary dimple too.
Yeah, no, that's a butt chin.
Whatever it is, I can't not look at it. It freaks me out. By the way, points are doubled. You guys jump in anytime.
All right, I got one. Joel Quenneville, coach of the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't expect everyone to know him, but his mustache is legendary. A white mustache screaming at you with a bald head. He is a gritty Canadian man. You do not want to mess with him. He is famous for grabbing his area when he was screaming at the ref 2 years ago. This guy can light up like a Christmas tree, and he is the scariest coach in sports for me.
I'm going to say Charlie Strong. I've definitely seen some veins pop out of his head. So
He has a pretty legendary vein.
Exactly. It gets scary.
Head veins.
The head vein.
Head veins are scary. My personal one is Rangers manager Jeff Bannister. You ever seen the guy
When he fought with the Astros,
get a little heated
with AJ
the
Harris, they were
Astros,
going at it.
He's got the veins like old man, like father, weird dad strength. I'm way out. I think I'm going with the hockey coach. Just because, for one, it's a hockey coach, and second, whenever you grab your area and you're yelling at an official, that means you mean business. So,
yeah.
Chiefs getting the 2 points here, guys. Last night, Adrian Beltre hit his 30th homer off of one knee. Beltre has been known to do this from time to time, just crank one off one knee. That's why Rangers, as you can see in the picture, why Rangers fans love him so much, guys. So the topic here is unique abilities or signature moves of players. It can be from any sport, but what's some of your favorite signature moves that you've seen an athlete do? Okay. Beltre's knee is kind of just an example of one. It can be from really any sport, but something that sticks out, kind of their thing.
Well, something that sticks out, and I'll stay within hockey because, it's my sport. Jaromir Jagr, 44 years old. He's back for another year. And now his rear is exactly what he's famous for, sticking his butt out and finding a way to fend off defenders time after time. It's unbelievable how he protects the puck. So Jaromir Jagr's my guy.
Jagr. Hard to go wrong. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, I think he's only done it once as far as I'm aware. But it's Marshawn Lynch when he's diving into the end zone, ball grabbing his area, and that's just giving a big you-know-what to the
That
NFL.
could be the theme of this segment right now.
You started this one.
Yeah, we got to cool it with the grabbing of the area. No one, make sure to not do that on air. We may have some kids watching at home here, but it is college crossfire, right? It's not PG crossfire.
Exactly.
Mackenzie,
I'm
I
gonna
assume
say.
not going area graph here. Where you going?
Well, I'm gonna go to the twerking side. Who was it this weekend?
my
Scored the
God.
touchdown and went straight to the booty popping. So
That was
that
so
is
poppin'.
a
That was good.
signature
That was
move
good.
right there.
Very
that
impressed.
was great. We're going that was more. God, that was great.
Yeah.
That was a celebration, but to keep the theme of the segment going, I've got to go with the grabbage. Here, moving in.
Are we gonna
moving
distribute
into
the
final
points?
question, guys? Do we have time to play a call for you? We're gonna go and play the call. It's Kevin Harlan. Many of you guys may have seen this over the weekend. It was 49ers and Rams. Kevin Harlan was on the radio call for Westwood 1. I don't know. Are we going to get a chance to take a listen to it? So we're not going to take a chance to listen to it. Hopefully you guys saw it all on Twitter. Basically, he described the drunk fan rushing onto the field, yelling, he's at the 40, he's at the 30, he's drunk, he's got his shirt off. It was the greatest call. It was Vin Scully-esque on a different level. So most exciting thing about the game, by the way. The question is, if you could have a sportscaster, anyone you want, call a random event or maybe a wild event. It can be anything, but pair me up with a sportscaster and a certain funny event.
Oh, that's tough.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to keep it Canadian. I'm going to keep it in the hockey realm
Yeah.
just for the rest of the segment. Don Cherry, he only
Oh.
does segments in the middle where he talks about Canadian nationalism. He's crazy. But I would love to have him call any sort of American football game. Anything,
like
because
it.
it just would make him cringe. So that's me, Don
I like
Cherry.
it.
And
I like it. What do we got? Sportscasters and odd things, different things.
I mean, it's not so much odd, but it's who I grew up with. It's the voice
Yeah.
that I absolutely love. It's what made me go into this field that
Yeah.
I'm in right now. It's Milo Hamilton, the radio broadcaster for the Astros, and his signature trademark phrase, "Holy Toledo." I absolutely love that. I listened religiously on the
Call like
radio.
a good burrito, holy burrito.
Yeah, there you go.
Good food eating.
But I mean,
contest or something.
he's passed, but I would love it
Yeah.
if he could have called something and I was there to actually
Yeah.
personally witness it.
That's cool. What do you think?
Honestly, I would rank this at the top. This is exactly what I would have want to see and like want to
Just a drunk fan?
Exactly,
Okay.
with someone narrating him on the field. That was perfect.
I like that.
I got
like
one
that.
more
Anecdote?
that just came to my mind. No,
All right,
no,
then
no.
I'll tell you mine.
The Icelandic football announcer from this summer covering a hot dog eating contest. I've
Yes.
never heard such screams
Yes.
in my life, and him in a hot dog
Excellent.
eating contest is perfect.
It's hard to beat. Hard to beat. Mine was Doc Emmerich and a certain type of pong that's known to be played among colleges. I think that would be legendary. But
Ball
anyways,
is waffle boarded.
Yeah, James is taking the winner. Got the NHL 16 calls right. And our producer, Mark Skull, do we have time for FaceTime for Mr. Grachos? We don't. James, you'll be back next week. Keep on doing your thing. I hope you're doing a lot better. You started the show by saying you weren't very good. I hope you've improved. Taking home the dub. Mackenzie Palmer, great first effort. Jonathon, defending winner. We'll see you throughout the semester. We assure you it's been great. We remind you, keep up with us on social media at TSTV Sports. Tune in here at College Crossfire. We're live every Wednesday night at 9 or 9:02, depending on the week. Also, College Press Box airs at 9:30 every Monday for the latest Longhorn sports news. We will see you next Wednesday right back here at 9. Until then, I'm Reese Miller. Have a good night. Colorado State Rams. Welcome back to College Crossfire, the only live sports show filmed right here on the University of Texas. Great to be back with you. Time to check the scoreboard, guys. We've got Jonathon Polasek off to my right. He's got 2 points. Mackenzie Palmer, her first time. She's got 1 point. I don't have a point, but they do over there. James is still got the goose egg, but plenty of time to go. Don't throw any helmets at me or anything like that. We've seen how things get on the ice. So strap them up, and here we go. On to the NFL, where the Tom Brady-less Pats still beat the Arizona Cardinals. The Cowboys invented yet another way to lose a game, and the Texans actually might be pretty good. So many stories from week one around the league, guys, but what is your biggest surprise, maybe biggest disappointment from that first slate of games from Thursday to Monday?
For me, it's the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, they're playing a Brady-less, Gronk-less Patriots. I mean, it's granted, it's still a Bill Belichick coach team, and there's a reason why Bill Belichick teams have won so many games for so long. It's because he's just a great coach. But still, you have to capitalize when teams are out with either injuries or suspensions. And I really thought that the Cardinals were going to come out firing. They had something to prove. They want to get back to the Super Bowl, or they want to get to the Super Bowl this year. They only got to the NFC Championship last year. And so I thought they'd be out firing on all cylinders. I mean, they have Carson Palmer as the quarterback. They have an elite group of wide receivers. Their running backs are good.
David Johnson, yeah.
They have Calais Campbell, Tyrann Mathieu, and Patrick Peterson. I really thought that this was going to be a massive win for the Cardinals, and they just came out and fell flat.
Yeah, a lot of people's pick to win the NFC, and if you're not going to beat the Patriots in that circumstance, how are you ever going to beat them?
Can you
right?
beat them with Brady? If you can't beat them with Garoppolo, who came from an FCS school, how can you beat him?
Eastern Illinois.
Okay, Tony Romo.
There you go.
But Tom Brady, he's on another level. When he comes back, you know he's going to be mad.
Oh,
They're both going to be mad.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mackenzie, what was the biggest surprise or something that disappointed you from week 1 in the NFL?
I'd definitely say the biggest disappointment is the Los Angeles Rams. Just reinvented themselves, just came back, not able to score a single point. They have the number 1 draft pick, Jared
Goff.
Jared Goff. But of course he's not starting. They also have Todd Gurley, who's one of the best running backs in NFL right now, but for them not to be able to put up one single point, that was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, still haven't. LA Rams have not scored a point since 1994.
Yeah, it's been 22 years.
Yeah.
Keeping it alive.
Still looking for that first one. James, biggest surprise or disappointment?
You know, there's another great streak going on in the NFL, and it's the Bills not being in the playoffs. And guess what? It's not happening again. Again, finding a way. Just somehow the Bills have stooped to a new low. Tyrod Taylor has thrown 111 passing yards. We waited 8 months for that. For him to throw to Sammy Watkins like 5 times, and then he gets an injury too. Rex Ryan, you are garbage, and you should take a lap. And just when it couldn't get any worse, just when it couldn't get any more disgusting, the New England Patriots with Jumbo Garoppolo somehow goes out there and wins a game. It is a all-new low. The endless circle of mediocrity continues.
Fired up.
I'm mad.
He's a little upset.
Ready to go.
Here.
He's ready to go for that.
He's a little upset.
That color rush, Bills and Jets game tomorrow night.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Fireworks are gonna be coming. Yeah,
Can't wait.
Tyrod Taylor extension. Not,
Oh.
I don't know. I don't see how I can't give the point to James.
I would give the point to him
James
too.
getting the point. I think we can all agree. I saw
He
the
deserves it, for
most
sure.
disappointing game from the weekend. While several young QBs shine in their debuts, number 1 overall pick Jared Goff, as Mackenzie mentioned, didn't even get to put on a jersey. Meanwhile, the Case Keenum-led Rams got blown out by the lowly 49ers. Guys, what do we make of this situation in LA? Goff, the number 1 pick. The last number 1 pick to not start was Jamarcus Russell in 2007. What do we think here? I mean, are Case Keenum and Sean Mannion really that better? What's Jeff Fisher doing here? Mackenzie, what do you think?
I think he's just new, and I think they're taking it slow. He's having to learn how to play as an NFL quarterback. He's experiencing things he never experienced as a college player. And let's not forget, he did sustain an injury in the preseason, a shoulder injury, so he's definitely still dealing with that. I think it's not a bad idea to let him sit back, gain experience, heal his injury, and then we'll definitely see him before the season's over.
Yeah. I would agree. Otherwise, Jeff Fisher, anybody who watches Hard Knocks might be dealing with more of that 7-9 BS, he calls it. James, what do you think? Is Goff really that bad that he can't play? What's the deal?
Hard Knocks, they showed a lot of Jared Goff.
He didn't look very good in the
Didn't
show.
look good. I believe it was his second snap where he threw an interception, and they traded 6 picks for him, and he, in return, is giving away picks like a buffet. It's unbelievable. And you know what? He did this in college as well. He had problems. Yes, he had unbelievable numbers. This is great. But he threw interceptions a lot, and he's still throwing interceptions in preseason, in practice. I'm not too impressed. I think this was a publicity stunt because it's the LA Rams grabbing the new toy from LA. So I'm not impressed with him. I think he's overrated, and I think we saw the 2nd overall pick doing a lot better this weekend.
But I feel like we're shocked that I'm at least shocked that Goff didn't at least play. It is LA, like you said, and it is the number 1 pick. I'm shocked that he wasn't just tossed out there for that.
How much worse could it get?
Case Keenum. Anyways, Houston guy, sorry. What do you think here?
I think it's a classic Jeff Fisher move. I don't know how you're still a
the
coach
guy's
in the
so
league.
average.
You are a mediocre coach.
Yep.
What are you doing with your teams? You have the number 1 overall pick for a reason. Use him. This could be your last chance. with the Rams. I mean, you have not done anything. You've been here for You've been there for 4 years. I don't understand how you were there for the first 3. Honestly, I don't know why you're still here. There comes a point where you just need to risk it all. And yes, Jared Goff, he may not be anything special. He may turn out to be a complete bust. But I mean, you've got to take risks at some point. If you're gonna draft somebody #1 overall, and you're gonna risk your entire draft picks for the future, what's the point? Why would you draft him? Why would you waste all that potential future talent for a player you're not even gonna play?
Yep.
If Nick Foles wasn't cut in the first episode, he'd be 4th in the depth charts.
Unbelievable. James, I think you're getting the point. I felt like a publicity stunt to me. Felt like they could have gone a lot of different ways and felt like they had to go, had to make the move, had to get the #1 pick. So you're getting the point, guys. None of news. The Astros still can't beat the Rangers somehow, who have pretty much eliminated them from postseason contention. But it's still a great wild card race. Sorry, Jonathan. In the American League, 2 AL East powers, the Blue Jays and the Orioles, currently hold down those 2 wild card spots, but they're followed tightly by the Tigers, and the surging Yankees are just a game and a half out. Mariners and Astros lurk within 4 games, guys. Who gets in, and can that team maybe even do some damage in the AL? James, what do you think?
Well, just when it couldn't get any worse for me, I am a Toronto sports fan.
Yes, you are.
And the Blue Jays have been incredible lately, in the wrong way. They are now 2-8 in their last 10 after another horrifying loss today. Josh Donaldson, the reigning AL MVP, is not playing right now. He's sitting on the bench. He hasn't had a hit in 7 games. That doesn't necessarily show confidence for me. And what's even worse is the Yankees are going to get in because Joe Girardi's a good manager. And it's the one year the Yankees will ever sell. They sold Chapman and Miller. And in 2 years, they're going to pay $500 million for Bryce Harper, and everyone else in the little old AL East is going to be over. And they're going to the playoffs this year too. So this is
okay. So you got Yankees and
the Orioles. Yes.
Okay, I can sense the hate.
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah,
I'm doing great.
I love it. Taking it out, Jonathan.
I'm gonna go not with the Yankees, and I'm gonna actually say the Blue Jays are gonna make it. I really think that they're gonna sneak in, and once they get in, they are going to show why they made it to the ALCS last year. Yeah. They can hit home runs like no other. Josh Donaldson can get going. Edwin Encarnacion can get going. Michael Saunders can all get going. Once they get going, once they're all on the same page, I don't think there's any team in baseball that can keep up with them. And then not even to mention their pitching, you have Marcus Stroman. You have Jay Happ, who is having a career year.
Aaron
Sanchez
exactly.
out of nowhere.
I've never seen it, especially from Jay Happ. He was with the Astros, and he was horrible. But, I mean, I think the Blue Jays, they're going to get in, they're going to sneak in, they're going to do some serious damage.
I can see that.
I'm happy to
Rangers fear. Absolutely. Mackenzie, what do you think here?
Real quick, I'm going to say Toronto and Baltimore.
Okay, keep it the same.
Yes.
Keep it the same.
Yes.
Telling you guys, watch out for the Yankees. I think James getting the point just because he brought the passion. Blue Jays are struggling. Somehow the Yankees have gotten better, even though they sold away their entire bullpen. Gary Sanchez is unreal, guys. That'll wrap things up here. In round 2, up next, the points will be doubled, and we will decide a winner in Rapid Fire. Don't go anywhere.